I'm an engineer by training, but I have a more interest in doing a lot of these things with STEM. So I'm actually very happy to see more artists and engineers in the room because if I'm around engineers, my earrings are way too big. I got too many rings. My ears are quite right. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm not going to introduce everyone individually. I don't want to take the time to do that. But the first question I asked them, that they're going to take a minute to kind of tell who they are and why they're interested in STEAM arts and arts integration. Okay. So the first question I'm going to, I changed my mind on how I'm going to ask the questions based on how we talked before I thought. Well, when Brittany was up, she made a comment about how she wants to bring the STEM to the artists, right? There's a different way of looking at it. So one of the questions that I have, and I want to ask all three of the panelists to respond to this, is I want to look at things through a different lens, and I want to ask, how can the arts integrate STEM? Or in a better way, maybe another way to look at that is how can the arts benefit from STEM integration? So instead of looking at it from STEM, how does it benefit from arts integration? Let's just strip and ask, how can the arts benefit from STEM integration? So each panel can take a couple minutes to introduce themselves so you know who they are. And I think they can do a better job introducing themselves than I can. And maybe respond to that question, how can the arts benefit from STEM integration?
Hi, my name is Natasha Bonak. I am an Afrofuturist, meaning that I wrote a book on Afrofuturism as well as Black sci-fi and fantasy culture. That book is really significant and in part that it's one of the definers of practice. So I'm a filmmaker as well. I'm an author. I have a journalism background. I'm a dancer and teach Afrofuturism dance theory.
Hello. So in short, I did write a book on Afrofuturism, and Afrofuturism is a way of looking at the future or alternate realities, but you use Black cultures around the world as the basis. And it differs from other futurism traditions and science fiction, generally speaking. One, because it references Black culture. Two, because it integrates the concept of kind of the divine feminine. There's a lot of valuing of femininity and feminine expression. But then also it looks at time a little differently too, where kind of the future, the past, and the present are kind of flip sides of one. And there's an intersection of mysticism in some ways. So it's expressed through the arts, but it can also be an epistemology or a way of looking at the world. And so I wrote a book on that, and I have a film that's actually screening today that engages that subject matter through dance, because I teach dance as well. So when you ask how can the arts benefit from STEM, well, I teach Afrofuturism dance therapy. So we use kind of the core foundational moves in a lot of African diasporic continental dance, in part to help people connect with themselves, but then we use that as a basis for encouraging freestyle movement, which of course encourages identity, but we use that to talk about not just health, but also biology. And in a lot of ways, to really look at deconstruction of time. A lot of the young ladies would do dances, kind of freestyle dances in celebration of their future. And so there was an integration of looking at time dynamics and how while they're dancing, it kind of gets timeless. So we can talk about time theory. And then also with respect to astronomy, dance is kind of a fun way to talk about astronomy because in doing freestyle movement, you can talk about, solar systems, star galaxies. They can create mythologies, or you can kind of reenact movements and so forth. So it's a way of creating curiosity about other subjects, especially history as well. I found that kids of color, well, all kids, but kids of color really need to have a more grounded sense of a trajectory of who they are in a timeless fashion.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Patrick Hunter. I am an artist by nature, an engineer by training, a software engineer, and a performance painter in my current iteration of my current life right now. So what is a performance painter? I paint live to music on stage, and I do that around the country. I work with a number of organizations and companies and artists, professional artists. And a lot of times I think people think that there's a left and a right brain, and there's art and there's a science world, but it's really an integrated world. We live in a STEAM world, we're STEAM creatures, and the work that I think that this conference is doing, and the work that a lot of us are doing individually is making it more purposefully, where we're purposely bringing some dimensions of art to STEM and vice versa. And I think that's where the true magic is. When I do some of the work that I do, in the consulting work that I do, so I use the performance painting as a function of showing how art and technology comes together, or art and science, and art and physics. There's the people come up to me all the time and say, well, I don't know how to do art. I'm not creative. Well, we're all creative. Algorithms is a form of creativity, math. So we can find it in all forms and factions. And quite simply, artists are looking to ask the questions, and scientists are looking to answer the questions. So it's this notion that we are better by bringing the two sides together, and just purposely. So the work that I do as a visual consultant is I use my performance painting, my understanding of these two worlds to help organizations solve problems creatively. Using design thinking, I think that your schools that you're working with, it sounds like you guys use that same form, and that is simply just understanding that collaboration and which is project-based learning. Collaboration is the best way to learn. We learn from each other, and we learn better from each other when we can bring different perspectives to the table. That's why there's a focus of kids of color, there's a focus of girls, because these are perspectives that we have to bring to the table to be more innovative and more creative. So that's kind of the work that I do as a visual consultant, is to help people and to help them communicate in a visual format, because artists, engineers aren't always the best communicators, and sometimes artists, we understand that pictures are the oldest form of communication, and when you add that to this dynamic of design thinking or collaborative thinking in a real-time visual format, you help to advance the thinking, you help to advance creativity and innovation, and so I do that. And when I go to classrooms, I get the kids' attention by telling them I'm a software engineer that also performs on stage with people like Snoop Dogg. That gets to the questions of, how is that possible? What is that? And so then I bring all that together, and school's going to, right? But I bring I bring these examples together to show that we actually are more alike than we are different. And when we recognize what we are different and perspectives that we do have, and a format and a process that allows us to be more creative, that's where the true magic happens. So that's going to be happening today, I think, during all of the breaks that we have, and during the receptions and this discussion. So last thing I mentioned before passing the mic is, so I live an unconventional engineering life. I worked 12 years for a large IT company before going off into consulting for myself. And people come to my desk and they say, well, what did you do for the weekend? And I'm painting for Hank Aaron and Snoop Dogg. So I recognize that it's a different lifestyle, but what's cool about it is that it allowed me to tell the story of STEM and the arts. And I was approached just recently, a couple years ago, to produce a a web series based off of the work that I'm doing. And it's really quite simply helping to raise the profile of this concept of STEAM, but by doing it by bringing people and processes and initiatives on our web series. And so we're scheduled to launch content next year. We've been following you around the country the last couple of years, and I'd love to speak with any of you that are doing really cool things that could be good content for our show. So thanks.
All right, so I'm JBL. I'll give you a different version of the introduction this time. So I own a tutoring company based in Dallas, Fort Worth called INC Tutoring. We focus on STEM tutoring, test preps, English reading, writing, and foreign languages. We are all millennial team comprised of about 25 of us now, based in Dallas. We have consultants in Dallas, Houston, San Francisco, North Carolina, New York City, Bay Area, Illinois, and a couple other areas. Started out as an educator. I have a highly technical background as well, but that venture kind of spun into tutoring, if you will. I had a love for education, and just kind of, flourished it out from a one-man show to where it is now. So we do things a lot differently than your Sylvan and Kumon centers. We actually have a more prescriptive approach, a holistic approach for tutoring that students can gain knowledge from and also mentor them. So all that packaged in one scenario is how we've been able to succeed and how we're doing like African American tutoring company in Dallas. So it's pretty cool stuff. So to kind of answer the question, there's a lot of things I didn't get a chance to show you for what we did in the Soda District in terms of moving in the center of arts and then moving outward to STEM. I think there's a couple pillars for figuring out why arts is important to STEM or even vice versa. First of all, if you think about logic, when you're doing any kind of art, there's always a mathematical scenario involved in your drawing something, whether it's on paper or whether it's you're performing arts. You have to highly calculate your steps and moves. If you think about dancing, whether you're dancing for Beyonce or whoever, whatever artist, they have to be on beat, right? They have to have the correct counts in order for the show to go as planned and to be calculated as it's supposed to be. Using logic and thinking about what you're doing in the arts, you have to have math in order to draw shapes. As an artist, I'm sure there's things you have to do to use math in order for you to kind of complete your vision. So a lot of us think about STEM and STEAM in two different dimensions, but they're actually in a case one dimension. But we don't think about going wide, right? When you add art, so STEM is going wide. And arts is going deep, right? So when you think about that, not only are you thinking about how to include STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, but you're also thinking about, well, how can I be abstract in my concepts? If I'm thinking about designing a F-35 jet or planes, I have to think about the aesthetics, right? How is the wind going to flow from the nose and have a cone outward for sonic booms, like Dr. Darden was talking about yesterday? How the things evolve for your plans and different things for engineering. So that part of arts is very important to engineering and STEM, as well as vice versa. In addition to that, I think that being able to collaborate and have different minds of thinking for both platforms is very important for today's generation and kids. You can't always have somebody that's always technical, but the kid's going to say, hey, I like to draw. Or if they don't like to draw, hey, I like to play on computers. So you have to let them work together because one idea may be exposed that one person didn't think about, and vice versa for that. So I think that's kind of how they intertwine, and then also how they're different. But again, if you have any questions or deeper questions about what we did in DeSoto, because a lot I didn't get a chance to tell you and how the model is exploited from the U.S. Department of Education, I can definitely connect with you guys a little bit later on.
Okay, panelists, I'm gonna kind of change it up a little bit. I hope you all can kind of go with me, okay? But I find what you all do is very interesting, and I want to hear your perspective, even though I was going to ask you want to use this question. Actually, I'm very interested in how you feel about the question. Okay. So the question is, in what ways do you believe, some possible ways that people like us who are art are integration advocates, so to speak? How can we educate the public? And what I mean by the public, including policymakers, I just kind of gave us a little bit of a background on that whole process. But in your opinion, how can we do a better job at educating the public at large, including parents, educators, and STEM employers, and things like that? How can we educate them or get the word out that integrating the arts and STEM, there are benefits to that? What would be your take on how we do that?
So the first recommendation I would say to get the word out, how many of you guys have heard of parental advocacy or parental engagement topics, right? So if you have students in school or you're an educator, teacher, instructional coach, principal, admin, or superintendent, the best way, I believe, to kind of get the word out and to expose the students and society and parents to these particular things is to, one, if you're in the school system, if you're in PTA, right, there should be sections in your PTA meetings or PTSA meetings where students are engaged and able to have a communication and conversation around why is it that, Johnny isn't performing, better in school or is performing better in school because of his arts engagement or his curiosity with arts and STEM. So being involved in your PTSA or PTA is one way to kind of get the word out. But in addition to that, being an involved parent is huge, right? A lot of the times in education, kids go out to school, do homework, and you ask Johnny what he did, and he can, I don't know what I did. Okay, well, how can I help you with your homework? And the parents are not always able to help. So I think getting the parents to be involved in what the student is doing in school and in the classroom, and being involved with the teacher as a holistic circle of communication is one way to kind of get that particular scenario input into the art, the arts of being involved. Another way as well with teachers is PD, right? Professional development, have professional development topics and sessions around how to integrate arts into a STEM program, or how to integrate STEAM across the board, even when we get in DeSoto. How can we be cross-curricular and cross-grade level? There's nobody doing it across the U.S., but it can be done if you do it carefully before they call organized chaos. If you're familiar with organized chaos as an educator, you know what I'm talking about. Those are different ways to be involved and have parental engagement, parental advocacy, be able to advocate for your kids, and know what their strong suits are and what their weaknesses are, and be able to collaborate with other parents and educators about that.
So fun in film. People learn when they are having fun, and I think exposure is also a big part of it as well. I was in college before I really knew what an engineer did, and I was in my professional career as an engineer before using my network of friends to really understand the wide range of diversity that STEM careers can allow you to do, from working within makeup, if you like makeup, to working in sports and entertainment, which I got a chance to really understand that full range of it. And as a student, as a kid, you want to not only do things that are fun, but to envision a lifestyle that is fun. And there's content on television and other social platforms that talk about lifestyles that are fun. And from my network of friends, I've recognized that you can have just as much fun and actually over a lifetime make more money than some of the people that we see as professional athletes and as professional musicians as well. So I'm a bit biased, but film is actually why I started to take the work that I'm doing now to that platform, and I'm working on this web series that we're launching next year, because we're looking at using that platform to help make it fun for kids to see, and to also create that awareness so it really is edutainment. So it's entertainment, but it's fun for the kids. They see cool lifestyles. Parents understand it better. There's statistics that show that if parents are afraid of things like mathematics, they're going to be less likely to help their kids with that. And so showing them kind of this fun element and showing them and helping educate the parents in a fun and interesting way helps to create that bridge between parents and the students. There was a statistic that was on the Obama website for the White House that showed that during the run of NCIS, which I think was a 7-year run, the numbers for students in undergrad and graduate forensic science doubled during that time period. So the impact that film does have is very impactful. It can't be understated, and that's what we're looking to do with this project.
I would say one of the best ways is to always sort of document the interactions that you have around STEM and STEAM, documented through video, documented through some collection of essays. I think that there are great people doing a lot of amazing work, but there isn't a record of it that anyone can see unless they're literally standing there as it was taking place. So I would say to document it and to also showcase it to people. You know, I have opportunities where you can take it to conferences or just within the school. You know, you can have like a parent night or some sort of event and you invite people to come and check it out. That's one thing I would suggest. The other is to continue to build on having very experiential dynamics where you're bringing in parents and teachers or the students themselves around STEM and STEAM and having a talk back about those experiences. I have found that art therapy, I focus on dance therapy, but I think art therapy, you also have musical theater-based therapy as well. A colleague of mine works with a program that does musical theater for people transitioning out of prison, and they use that to really build identity. And then 3, I would say to really create workshops where you talk about visioning and future visions. And look at that, use that as a way of inspiring creativity. Because one thing that I found in talking about Afrofuturism is sometimes there are people, they don't feel like they're empowered to even create their own futures. You know, better yet, a collective future. And it's that idea that you'll be in the future that excites you without wanting to create anything in the arts or, well, in science in particular. To know that you have a role and that you do belong and that you can shape the future. And having some real kind of honest conversations about that with, you know, parents, teachers, students, I think is significant.
Okay, so you want me to start asking questions, open up to the audience? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I think it's always good to let the audience ask questions, so we're going to open it up for how many minutes? About 5 minutes, so a couple questions. You like what you got? Yes. Hi guys.
Hi guys, my name is Nicole and I'm really excited to be here. So I have a question for all 3 of you. I have been blessed to be part of or around the special needs community. So how does what you do impact them and engage them and benefit them? Because every race, class, everything has an impact on special needs, especially with children. So.
Anybody want to take this question?
I think, again, the arts are really a great platform to engage special needs kids. There's a lot of untapped potential, and there's an opportunity to cultivate your own voice through the arts.
When I do some of the workshops with some of the students, collaboration and fun, it just can't be understated. So I'll do a project and I'll bring a DJ into the room and we'll go into creating, designing new products and working collaboratively. So collaboration just helps to really take down the walls that sometimes happens when you're a little bit self-conscious about maybe your learning style, because 60% of us are visual learners, and so sometimes they create barriers that makes it difficult for us to learn. So collaboration is a great way to do that. And when you make it fun, you got, personally what I do is I bring a DJ and some paint. And so it helps to break down kind of maybe some of the walls that you have walking in, and you feel a little bit inspired, you feel a little bit creative. And I think if you just keep it fun, then we all learn better that way.
I think when I was with the district, fresh out a few weeks ago, so going full time with my company. But When I was with the district, I think it's more so about really knowing your audience and knowing your students and your kids. So if you know that there's somebody that has Asperger's or somebody that's dyslexic or dysgraphia or autistic, then you need to either have a specialist that can work with those kids at the same time as the general population. So to include our buzzword inclusion, to include those populations in the classrooms to where they're able to flourish with the arts and the STEM as well, and put them together so they can focus on what that particular special need or disability may be. Now moving to my company and what I do in tutoring, we have people that actually specialize in those particular scenarios, so they're able to tutor that particular student exactly how they need it when they need it. So they are able to get the best out of the tutoring experience. So they can take it back to the classroom in any district, private school, public charter, and be able to do well and teach other students how to do things. Because sometimes we forget, when we teach the general population, we forget that there's somebody else over there that may be a little different than the rest of the population, but they still need to benefit from the same education. So we take it upon ourselves, the tutoring organization that works differently than the actual center, to tailor what we're doing to that student, and that student can take it back to the general population and share and expand their knowledge.
Okay, well, thank you all. That wraps up our panel. So everyone is here, so please, as Alicia said, get to know everyone. If you're interested in how do you broaden participation of people who look like me in particular, look like me, like, dress like me and everything. Talk to me. I'm very interested in those types of things, as well as storytelling, helping the stories of people who are not traditionalists, particularly in the STEM professions. So again, thank you for your attention, and I hope you all enjoy the panel.